So this is the evolution of the journey to Jacob's star. By 2620, this is the thesis and the ending that Aria was looking for. Homo sapiens are in residence on 4 planets in 4 different star systems in the galaxy. We start out on Earth, and from Earth we go 27 light years to Campai, and then from there they went another 30 light years to Tyrone, and another 40 light years to Grandois. In the meantime, the Earth is destroyed by a comet, everything that's living on Earth. And so the people on Campai have to go back to Earth to save it, to restart it in 2620. So the basic story is this: Earth has a Earth has a mass of 1. The Campai are more like the Neanderthal people. The Tyronians are more like the Dovinians, and the Grandois are almost like Earth. So this is the story. The starship is moving through this pattern. All right, now built the International Space Station. The shuttle in the story is 3 times as big as this. It's huge. The shuttle, the Skymaster shuttle, is actually on top here, which is about this is about 100 feet. The Skymaster is about 250 feet. This part of the Space Launch System actually has a rocket on it now. So you'll have a rocket power between 3 rocket powers plus 1 on the Skylab, on the shuttle itself. This is the thing that goes up to build the Yuri Gagarin space station and facility and manufacturing facility. So everything is built. This is in low Earth orbit, around in low Earth orbit. It's 3 miles wide and about it's 2 miles wide and about 4 miles long. These are huge ships.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the Yuri Gagarin space station and the place where we manufacture the Leviathan. The Leviathan is taken as a model. It's built primarily on the Star Trek, the Enterprise, except it happens to be about 4 miles long and 2.5 miles wide. It's huge. Now what happens here, this is something that no one likes to talk about, because the Star Trek, for example, they make up silly things that don't exist in physics. But what happens here, these 2 engines here are nuclear engines, and they accelerate the craft. So what happens here is you start out, remember that this is sitting like this in the facility, and then it's launched in space and begins to accelerate until it gets to about 55% the speed of light. Takes about a year. And here is this is the bridge. When you are during acceleration, imagine yourself that this is a car. You're sitting in a car seat. Okay. So Jake, I'm using this model. So what happens here is, as this is accelerating, and you're in a car, remember you get thrown backwards in the car. So what happens here is that the floor, when you're accelerating, the floor is like that, and the people are standing in this direction. Okay? It gets very complicated here.
Yeah.
All right? It's hard to see this. All right? Now, when you're not accelerating, you're in the gravity wheel, the centrifuge. And the centrifuge is flying you out in this direction, so the floor changes. So as the centrifuge changes, you change. The floor below you changes. Okay, like so. Now, you accelerate to 55% the speed of light for about a year, and then you coast for 38 years. It's a distance of 27 light years to get to Kampai, and most of that is in coasting. Once you've reached 55% the speed of light, you coast for 38 years. When you're coasting, you're living in this centrifuge here. After about 38 years, you now got to decelerate. And this is what everybody likes to get away. They don't like to talk about deceleration. Because how do you stop this bloody thing? Yeah. Well, the way you do it, in my approach, which is not uncommon, except it's never talked about, except for small. It's sort of implied. You have deceleration engines, two engines that have the same force as the two accelerating engines to slow you down. But like when you're in a car, if you hit the brakes, you go flying forward. So the floor changes. So now the floor is this way, and you're sticking, and you're looking out this way here. So during the flight, the floor keeps changing on you, but most of the time you're in the centrifuge, and the floor's like that, and you're going around like that. So this is what. So these are very big. This is a million tons, a 1 million ton vehicle. There's nothing like it you can even imagine on the Earth. An aircraft carrier is like 1/10 of that. I mean, these are really big babies. And the Yuri Gagarin took 40 years to build. Is the first one to go into low Earth orbit, and it built up a whole bunch of units, a quarter size of that, a half size, 3/4, who were used to go around the moon, low orbit the moon, low orbit Mars, Titan, Europa. So the whole solar system gets filled with these space stations. Now, this baby here finally gets to Kampai, which is 27 light years away, and it goes through all sorts of things. There's immigration problems you got to worry about.
Immigration.
You got Jews, you got Christians, you got Muslims, you got Hindus. All these guys are. There's 1,000 people on this baby with their children and everything.
Oh, wow.
So they have to find their way. By the time they get to Kampai, they got to be. One of the things that happens along the way is a Muslim child kills a Jewish child, or arguing about whether Ishmael was the one who was sacrificed in the Akedah. I mean, stuff like that goes on. And they have to resolve these things. And also quarantines. Well, it turns out that when they get to Kampai, it turns out that Kampai had the same problems getting to Tehran. The Tyronians have the same problem getting to the Grand Oise. So it's a very modern story in a sense, and they have to solve these problems. So the whole length is 2 miles. This thing is 2 miles, and this whole thing is almost 4. You can see how big they are. They're just huge animals.
Wow.
And I show here that the basic idea, and this is not my idea, other people thought of this, is that if you look at the Enterprise is built perfectly because you have the centrifuge here for the gravity wheel, which keeps the gravity feeling like Earth. And they have, of course, the engines to get the acceleration. The big thing they miss is how to slow down.
Stop. Just go forever.
Just roll out. Just jump and roll.
Yeah, they have some funny stuff on Star Trek. They revolve around. Is that yes, they do get to Kampai. They do then. Human beings then jump on these other planets, and by the end of the story, there are human beings on 4 different planets and 4 different star systems. That's probably.
And we survive? Hey, we survived.
Yay! We live!
Of the multispectral detector that flew on Skylab successfully. And a lot of these guys were part of my team. And the detector on Skylab is located right there. and it took beautiful pictures of the earth of you could tell oak, corn growing versus orange growing. I mean, also there's
wow.
many different colors.
When was this?
73?
1970. What's the date on
It says 73 on the.
1973. Yeah.
Wow.
In-
So I can take
Yeah.
a
You
really
were
good
12
quality
years
picture.
old.